Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to tonight's MIAA field hockey game here at South Hadley High School. Tonight we're honoring the South Hadley field hockey class of 2024. While they will be sorely missed, we are so proud of our three senior captains and cannot wait to see all that they accomplish. First, we would like to recognize number 9, senior captain Maddie Mendoza! Escorting Maddie are her teammates Nora Vaughn. Meeting Maddie at the paw are her mom Teresa, dad Dave, brother Brady, and her grandparents. And now Molly O'Connell would like to say a few words on behalf of the team.
Maddie joined the team in her 8th grade year and has continued to work hard all the way through to her senior year. This hard work is really seen in the field over the past 5 years. Although currently she is a center mid, she has played every position on the field, including goalie. Maddie is one of our captains this year, and when I reflected on what makes a good captain, my original thought was leadership skills, which Maddie has in excess. However, something else is the kindness that she shows to every person, not just on the team, but everyone she encounters. Whether it is on the field or in the pool or even in pre-calc, she is always helping and looking out for those around her. She makes everyone feel welcomed and brings a lot of joy and a little bit of sass to the team. I remember when I first met her during swim season, all I could think about was what an incredible athlete and person she was. This has only proven even more true this season. We are going to miss you, and we can't wait to see what you continue on to do.
Our next senior is number 11, Our next senior is senior captain number 11, Rose Lewinsky. Escorting Rose is her teammate Ella Haber. Meeting Rose at the paw are her dad Craig, mom Jen, brother Riley, and sister Anna. Now Joanna Diaz would like to say a few words on behalf of the team.
Rose has been playing field hockey for 3 years. She plays defense and has played forward this season, which got her to score this season. Rose is a good defensive player with good stick work and is always so happy to be on the field, even when she doesn't show it. She always does her best on the field. She keeps people motivated, especially me, even when she doesn't feel motivated herself. Rosie is such a kind and very clumsy person. I remember the time when we were warming up and she collapsed from laughing just by looking at each other. I think we can all say that we are going to miss Rose, her laughs, her jokes, and of course her singing, especially her singing. We are all so proud of you and very sad that you are leaving. We hope you continue playing in college and can't wait to see all that you do in the future.
You guys are wrapped.
Our final senior is number 20, senior captain Amaya Dunn. Escorting Amaya is her teammate Kerrigan Wartell. Meeting Amaya at the paw are her mom Sarah, dad Greg, brother Brady, and boyfriend Mikey. And now Elise Gingras would like to say a few words on behalf of the team.
This speech is dedicated to our amazing goalie, Amaya. Amaya has been playing for 3 years. And played on the field before she was a goalie. She is a sweet, fun-loving person, and her attitude and goals are as always positive. Playing with you on the field since 8th grade has been so much fun, and getting to know you at the team dinners was my favorite part. I will never forget my very first team dinner with you when you showed me a funny video. It will always be my favorite memory of us. Seeing now that you are a senior makes me so sad, knowing that you won't come back and play for us anymore as our goalie and as a teammate. You will be missed by the entire team. We wish you the best of luck with whatever college you go to, and we love you all so much.
A huge thank you to Molly, Joanna, and Elise for the senior speeches. We thank you to our friends and family for all the support this season. Congratulations to the class of 2024, Maddie, Rose, and Amaya.
Everybody can hear that on the other side of the room. That's awesome. That's awesome. She's here for our yeah. Pause. Good pause. That's what it's on. It's a perfect time to do my MIA and PSA.
Fans, a brief reminder that high school athletics encourage good sportsmanship, and we ask that your conduct towards players, coaches, officials, and other spectators demonstrates good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance. And now, please enjoy tonight's field hockey matchup between the visiting Southwick Rams and your South Hadley Tigers. And now, the starting lineup for your South Hadley Tigers. Check that, the starting lineup for the visiting Southwick Rams. Forward number 22, Riley Johnston. Defense number 5, Andrea Surratt. Forward number 8, Natalie Burkowski. Forward number 9, Ella Sands. Defense number 11, Ava Yaros. Forward number 13, Alyssa Bond. Midfield number 24, Magnolia Dickinson. Midfield number 33, Brody Foynt. And midfielder number 4, Angela Reset. And defense number 27, Kendall Carney. Starting in goal, number 55, Ava Lightcap. And now the starters for your South Hadley Tigers. At midfield, number 1, Ella Haber. At forward, number 2, Joanna Diaz. At forward, number 3, Nora Vaughn. At forward, number 4, Amanda Stevenson. At midfield, number 8, Sam Harrison. At defense, number 13, Elise Gingras. At midfield, number 17, Molly O'Connell. At defense, number 19, Logan Muskus. Senior midfielder, number 9, Maddie Mendoza. Senior defender, number 11, Rose Lewinsky. And the senior goalkeeper, number 00, Amaya Dunn. The head coach of your South Hadley Tigers is Nicole Casolari. Fans, we now ask that you please rise if you're able to, and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Welcome to the first ever field hockey game here on South Hadley Sports Network, your home for Tigers Athletics. The Tigers and the Southwick Rams in a JV field hockey matchup. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brady Dennison. Alongside me is Amy Foley making her commentary debut. Miss Foley, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, Brady. Thank you for having me here this evening. I'm so excited to see this field hockey match tonight.
So, we are getting set to get underway here. Tigers are in their huddle with Coach Nicole Casolari. Of course, it is senior night, as you guys just heard. The goalkeeper, as well as a midfielder and a defender by the names of Amaya Dunn, Maddie Mendoza, and Rose Lewinsky, all being celebrated tonight. And what could be the final game for them here at the turf as members of this club.
It really was great to hear their teammates honor them in the speeches before the game here.
We did see some raw emotion displayed there. Just goes to show we're all human, and losing the seniors can be really tough.
And here we go.
Oh my God. So I've been corrected from something I said during the senior day reads. It's apparently Molly O'Donnell, not O'Connell.
Oh,
There's some shots on goal there.
we're close to, and there we go.
There's a South Hadley goal. That's number 4, Amanda Stevenson, a freshman. So, Tigers get started pretty early. It's 1-0.
So it's great for Southwick to experience this evening as well. As JV players, they don't typically get to be so involved in a senior night.
Additionally, I just feel like there's a lot of presentation that comes with senior night. I mean,
A lot of pomp and circumstance, shall we say.
great choice of words there. She's an English teacher.
Well,
so
you know.
You wouldn't expect any less. But as both these teams are JV clubs, and
So that whistle there, I think, was because there was a play from behind the offensive player, but I could be wrong.
all right, there's another one.
Yeah. I know as we were getting ready for this evening, we were talking about all the many whistles that field hockey has and how this is a relatively new game for the both of us.
Well, I had a nice pep talk from one of my producers before this broadcast about how we need to be confident going into uncharted territories. I mean, that's what we've been doing for volleyball. I mean, obviously we haven't been having much commentary, but that's what we're having tonight, and we're going to try our best to hit the ground running here with our first field hockey broadcast.
It's always great to step out of your comfort zone sometimes there, Brady, and here we go. We're going to learn about a new game tonight.
Yeah, we do have an expert with us this evening who will be coming on to the broadcast, I believe, during the second quarter. Former field hockey coach and current field hockey official, as well as a member of the English department at South Hadley High School, Miss Tara Cole. So we'll hear more from her later. There's going to be a play around the 25-yard line. That's number 9 on South Hadley, Maddie Mendoza, one of the seniors tonight. And the ball rolls behind the net.
So far, South Hadley has been dominating the play out in the field and has been in their offensive end for the majority of the time.
Oh, yes. The majority of this play has been on South Hadley's scoring end, which is great.
Here comes Southwick making a move onto offense.
It's number 13, Alyssa Bond. Shot there from Brody Foynt. member of the 8th grade class at Southwick Regional High School.
South Hadley's able to clear the ball there out of the defensive end.
I believe that's Joanna Diaz on the breakaway there. Stevenson trying for it, and that was a touch from number 27, Kendall Carney. Now, I'm someone who enjoys ice hockey, and this is clearly very different off the bat, but...
Much less contact, right?
Oh, yes, of course. Much less padding, much less ice.
Some might say a little more finesse, though.
Yeah, I would. So there will be some substitutions this evening. On the line right now for Southwick is number 7, Madison Seaver. Unfortunately, my roster for South Hadley does not have substitutions, but we will do our best to inform you as to who they are.
South Hadley coming around the side there and gets the whistle.
There's a substitution there. Ella Haber was the one who came out, and the person who came in is number 16, who I, again, don't have on my roster.
Number 16 is Lily Harrington, thanks to our staff person here sitting next to me, Miss Jessica Nelson.
All respect for Jane Elm. There's a goal there. Looks like Joanna Diaz.
Joanna Diaz is a junior I have in English class. What a wonderful student.
I think I only have classes with one player on this team for South Hadley, and it's one of the defense, number 13, Elise Gingras. We have a geometry class together, and she's really nice. She's the class president for the class of 2026 this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then I know one of the seniors, Maddie Mendoza, is involved in student government. Trying to rifle off a fun fact here about all the seniors that I can come up with. Rose Lewinsky plays basketball as well. She was on the varsity team last year. And then Amaya Dunn has a brother in the 9th grade who I share a name with. His name is also Brady.
Here's South Hadley putting some more pressure on. I think the keeper just made a save there for Southwick.
As I frantically try and find a full roster for the Tigers, I am swinging and missing. Oh, here we go. Perfect.
I do have to say, Brady, a lot of our athletes here at South Hadley High School are well-rounded students, like you just pointed out. They're not just focused on their sports, but they have other extracurricular commitments as well.
Exactly, yes. Trying to think of another example here from the other sports that at least we cover here on South Hadley Sports Network.
Well, you know, we have our own executive producer, Colin Zranig, who is a soccer player as well as the executive producer for the South Hadley Sports Network.
That is a great segue, because I just wanted to say that our boys soccer broadcast is now available to be watched edited down.
Oh, and South Hadley scores again. Sorry to interrupt you there, Brady.
Oh, you're good. That boys soccer broadcast is available on Vimeo now, the edited down version, with some cuts and some stoppages. So if you'd like to watch it in its most condensed form, feel free to check it out on shhtv15.com and go to the video archive for SH Sports.
We're about 7 minutes into the first quarter here. South Hadley is leading 3-0.
Field hockey is definitely an interesting game.
Yeah.
I'm definitely intrigued by the way it's played. It's certainly interesting. A lot of clapping with the sticks.
Yeah, and I think that's what was just called right there, was the clapping of the sticks as a player goes after the ball. I don't think the defender can hack at their stick.
Now number 4, Angelica Reset, will go either back in or just in for the first time. I have her as a starter.
Oh,
We do have some South Hadley substitutions. Number 12 and number 10. Number 12 is Anna Vasquez, and number 10 is Quinn Carlson. So they both come in. And one of the coolest parts about having a full JV squad for field hockey is you can see what the future of the program is going to look like as some of these younger players. I know we have some players in the 8th and 7th grade. They're going to be coming into high school soon, and we'll also see what other sports they play. So that will be interesting.
and Southwick this evening, I believe they're a regional school, so I think they have 7th through 12th grade that participate in their athletics.
Now, would I be right in saying that you have a family member who played field hockey, Miss Foley?
I did. My daughter Madeline came up in the youth system and then played for 4 years in high school. So I'm a little familiar with the game.
There's a goal, I think? No.
No, there was a whistle right before the goal went in.
If that were to happen in ice hockey, somebody would be dropping the gloves right about now.
We won't be seeing that this evening.
Primarily because they're not wearing gloves.
Well,
And
yes,
number
there's that.
6 for Southwick goes in. That's Sadie Seckington. And South Hadley has a couple substitutions on the line as well. Number 22, Tegan Kavanaugh, looking to come in at some point here. The play's about to start. Elise Gingras from South Hadley.
Trying to keep it out of the defensive end here. She's able to win the ball there.
So, our crew tonight is looking a little different. We have Luke Giles' debut on center camera. He's done center camera before, I lied. I really need to check my stats. We have our wonderful, usually mixer, Colin Zaranig, downstairs on camera too. We have Nick Jimenez on the mixer today. He was on the mixer last Friday for boys soccer. And our teacher advisor, Miss Nelson, and obviously Miss Foley, who's also on the call with me. So, and then you gonna say something?
Well, earlier we talked about Colin playing some soccer. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't point out the fact that Luke Guile is a valuable member of the golf team. He plays golf in the fall.
He does. And another thing, Nick was pretty dang close to playing football this fall, but for reasons I'm unaware of, and he is off the football field. I think that's another goal for South Hadley?
No.
Play's going to come up in front, and the shot is wide.
Yeah, we need to move it. With 3 minutes left to the first quarter here, South Hadley goes again, putting some pressure.
Got to get a shot off there, right into the goalie's pads.
The goalie makes some really good saves there, a couple of great saves. Looks like it's going to be Southwick's ball coming out.
We have some more substitutions coming in. Number 24, Kerrigan Wartell, and number 6, Patty Erzik. So, getting everybody involved here.
Patty Erzik, I have her in my freshman seminar class this year. She's a hardworking student.
And there's a substitution for Southwick. It's number 20, Ashlyn Sullivan. So Mendoza will try to get her way through the defense. A pass to O'Donnell won't go.
I look forward to the second quarter when Coach Cole can come on and help us out with some of these rules and whistles that we're seeing here, Brady.
Extremely valuable input from Coach Cole very soon. But again, like we said, we're going in blind, we're hitting the ground running, and we're doing our best, even though, again, we're going in blind. Another substitution went in that I apparently didn't see. Number 15, Dee Haber. And I know her brother Avery plays soccer. He's one of their, I believe, defenders. He might be a mid. I'm honestly not sure. Haven't been to many of the boys' games this year.
Although we did broadcast their last game in that torrential downpour on Friday night.
I unfortunately could not be here for that, as I was tending to other obligations. Speaking of soccer, we have every intention of covering some of the...
Here goes South Hadley clearing it out of Southwick's defensive end on a little bit of a breakaway, and they continue.
Kerrigan Wartell gets it away from the defense, but there will be a collision of sticks there.
The clock is winding down here the last 15 seconds of this quarter.
Fair warning for your ears, the air horn's about to go off. One of the unfortunate parts of this sport. There it is. So after the first quarter, South Hadley with the lead, 3-0. And we will step aside. When we come back, Coach Cole comes on the broadcast to explain this sport to us. It's the Tigers and the Rams on South Hadley Sports Network, your home for Tigers athletics. We're back for the second quarter. Tigers up 3-0 on the Southwick Rams. And in just a moment here, Coach Tara Cole will come on the broadcast to start explaining this to us. We are, again, we're going in blind. I don't know how many times I've said that tonight.
Whether we're going in blind or not, these South Hadley Tigers really had a strong first quarter, Brady.
They did. I will say, I made a bet with Colin Zaronic earlier. For every time I said something along the lines of, this is our first time covering field hockey, we're going in blind, I owe him $5.
I think you should buy him a couple pickles on a stick that are they're selling in the concession stand.
I'm going to be out of money if I don't, so that honestly might be a good idea.
So, Brady, I'm going to have Miss Cole or Coach Cole come over here in a moment. Coach Cole coached the field hockey team here for 16 years as the varsity coach. She now, I believe, is reffing high school field hockey and also coaching in our youth league, as she has a daughter who is in second grade, who's playing second grade field hockey. Welcome to the broadcast, Coach Cole.
What an incredible segue.
Little pause for some dramatic tension. Happy to be here tonight, helping to get these newbies acquainted with the sport of field hockey.
Now that I'm sitting next to two English teachers, I got to make sure my grammar is primo.
So far, so good, Brady.
Appreciate that.
So, Coach, what was the call there, do you think?
So it looked like that might have been a little bit of some stick obstruction. If this had been a higher level game, she might have let that go because South Hadley was definitely still going to have the advantage. But at this younger level, the JV level, we definitely want them to understand what the calls are so that they don't make them again in the future.
So, essentially, the JV level is more of a training aid.
Yes, yes. Oh.
And
So we had a lot of feet right there, so she was definitely going with that first foot, which was unfortunately against South Hadley.
And I mean, that whole training aid concept is definitely true for other sports, but with South Hadley only having a JV program as of right now, it's just more of a for the future sort of thing.
Yeah, and right now what's nice is South Hadley is really building up their youth programs, as Ms. Foley was mentioning before. My daughter's playing, and so for the first time ever, South Hadley has a bantam level team, which is grades 2 through 4. They also have a junior level team, which is grades 5 and 6, and as you know, the 7th and 8th graders are playing up here at the high school. So the numbers are starting to turn in South Hadley's favor as far as getting more youth involved in the sport, which will help the high school level be able to field their varsity and a JV program.
It's great. It's regardless of what sport it is, it's fantastic when sports are grown, and there's something there.
It's great to hear that they have a bantam team this year, because I know when my daughter was playing, I think field hockey started at grade 4, and at times I think there might have been a team that she played on that was like 5th grade through 8th grade because of the numbers. So it's great that the younger girls in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade are getting the opportunity to play together.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Amy. The last couple of years, South Hadley has opened it up for as young as 3rd and 4th graders, but they'd have to play up. So that means some of these little peanuts were playing against 6th graders on a full field, and the bantam level is playing with their same age peers, and it's 7v7, so they really get to learn those fundamentals before they're faced with the full field and playing against 6th graders.
It's definitely great to have that development level, almost like a farm system in our town for sports. We obviously have had great youth soccer programs and youth baseball programs in the past, but it's incredible to see another sport that's like field hockey that commonly flies under the radar and like mass sports coverage getting the respect that it honestly deserves.
Yeah, totally. And I think like some other sports, COVID didn't help, right, when everything shut down. So if you weren't one of the big mainstream sports that just by nature we're going to continue to pull your numbers in, some of these other smaller sports such as field hockey, you know, they suffered from that. So they're definitely building back up again, which is great to see.
Yeah, you know, a lot of our school sports have had to combine with other towns because of mostly the effects of COVID. I know our swim team combines with Granby, I want to say, and Holyoke. Our hockey team this year is combining with, I think, both Chicopee schools, Granby, and the Pioneer Valley Chinese Immersion School. So,
and it's not just South Hadley. You're seeing a lot of the sports in other towns too, having co-ops, pulling up their middle schoolers, getting the waivers for 7th and 8th graders to try to keep those high school programs alive. Because if the high school programs stay alive, then the youth programs continue to draw their numbers because the kids see that they can continue to play as they get older.
exactly.
So, Coach, I have a question for you. I know last year the field hockey team had some students from the Chinese Immersion School.
They still do, yep.
That's great. About how many players do you know are from the Chinese Immersion School up in Hadley?
I would say anywhere from 4 to 6. I don't know exactly on their roster this year, but they definitely have a couple of them on there. Oh. So I got a corner.
Oh, I believe this is the first corner of the evening. No, there was another corner?
This might be the first corner of the second quarter. How about we'll give you that there, Ms.
Fine. That works. I may have gone to a couple field hockey games a few years ago. I'm a little rusty in my knowledge of field hockey.
Hey, you've got more experience in this than I do.
We're working through this together, Brady. We got it.
100%.
Oh, I think that hit a foot.
And we will definitely improve as seasons go on. We'll have more sports to cover. I know basketball I've covered for 2 seasons now. Baseball, this will be my 2nd season going in. We have every intention of covering lacrosse and what other sports are there? Like fall sports. I'm not sure we can cover track. I honestly don't know how we would.
Oh, if we could cover indoor track, that's one of the best high school athletic events around, going to a indoor track meet.
I've heard good things.
Oh, and
there's a goal there. I believe that's the 2nd of the day for Joanna Diaz. I don't know what it's like in field hockey, but if we were playing on ice, one more goal and raining down would be hats.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach Cole, I know that you retired from coaching field hockey just a couple of years ago, but you still have some of your field hockey alumni who are pretty successful and still playing field hockey. One of which is my niece Brianne Foley, who's playing up at Westfield State. She's having a great season. I think she was just named the Defensive Player of the Week for her conference this past week. Can you just talk about maybe a couple other players that had played for you that are still playing now?
Sure, gladly. Yeah, I got to see Bree's accolade on social media the other day, so that's definitely kudos to her. She was a fantastic player here and clearly making her mark on the collegiate circuit as well. Along with Bree over at Westfield State, Corinne Maroney is entering her senior year there, and she also played with Bree here in South Hadley. Corinne's sister is playing up at Stevenson's Institute, I believe, Stevens Institute, up in New Jersey. She's starting her sophomore season there. Along with her, that was a pretty big class, that sophomore class. We've got Abby Serzago and Caitlin Lyons who are playing over at the Elms. And then a recent graduate, Ashley Scott, is playing over at Mount Holyoke College right now. So there's quite a few alumni who are out and about and playing at the collegiate level currently. One of the volunteer assistant coaches, too, down there for South Hadley, Brooke Marion, she's an alumni from my program, and she also played collegiate field hockey over at Nichols, I believe she was. Oops, and we had a foot on South Hadley there, so we're going to take that hit right there.
It's great to see that the influence of the South Hadley program has transferred over to other levels of the sport, whether it be the college level, or I don't know what kind of professional level there is for field hockey, but
oh yeah, there's national squads, there's U.S. squads, there's international squads. Field hockey's played at the Olympic level, so there's definitely ways to keep going. You know, Western Mass is not necessarily a mecca for that, but there's definitely ways and opportunity to get there.
We haven't seen somebody climb up all the way through the ranks yet, but I mean, who knows? We've got time, and with the youth program that we're building, seemingly, it looks like we have a chance in the very near future.
Looks like we have another corner coming here. Brady, if you ever get the opportunity to watch either a collegiate or an Olympic field hockey game, you have got to watch. It is amazing. The turf they play on is quite different from the turf that our team is playing on this evening. It's much shorter. They keep it wet, and the speed of everything. Oh, and South Hadley scores again.
I'm honestly not sure who that was. I think it was number 1, Ella Haber. So we have 5 minutes remaining in the quarter. It's 5-0 South Hadley. It's been all Tigers through the course of this game, but you got to give Southwick some credit. Their goaltender was making some, or their goalkeeper was making some impressive saves.
I think what's a little tricky, too, is for some of these JV teams, you know, there's a reason South Hadley's a JV squad right now, but there are some seniors on here who have, you know, a number of years of experience, some JV players. So, you know, they're playing against some JV squads who might be just full of 7th and 8th graders, because Southwick does have a varsity team. So it makes it a little bit tricky. But it is still a great way for South Hadley to build their program back up.
Couldn't have said it better.
One thing to make note, too, is now that we're at a 5-goal differential, once we start the second half, it will be running time. So unless the official calls an official timeout, the clock will stay going.
Right now, the clock stops after each goal that is scored. Is there any other time during the game that it would stop, Ms. Cole?
Nope, just an injury timeout, or if the official gives her or their official stop. And then if Southwick scores or the differential is no longer 5, then we would go back to stopping after goals.
With the way South Hadley's been playing, I'm not saying that it's not out of the cards because it's sports, anything could happen. But with the way South Hadley's been playing, it's looking like they're going to maintain at least some type of lead.
Yeah, and I think senior night also brings a special kind of energy for our squad. So they're going to hold tight to try to keep this a no-goal game for Southwick. You know, celebrate their seniors in ways that make sense.
And there's another goal for South Hadley. That's number 9, Maddie Mendoza, one of the seniors. I want to say that's her second goal of the night as well.
I think it's also important to note that Coach Casolari, who is also a math teacher here at the high school and a South Hadley High School graduate, she and I have a little coaching history together. She may have played for me on the soccer field. So field hockey is not necessarily her first sport for the fall.
How long ago was that there, Miss Foley?
Oh, we don't need to talk about numbers. She's the math teacher, not me.
I'm gonna step aside real quick for that. You guys go ahead and debate that. I'm just gonna.
That's a good choice, Brady.
Watch this wonderful field hockey game.
But I will say that Coach Casolari has put in a lot of time and a lot of work to learn the sport of field hockey, and I think that's what we're seeing here tonight is her hard work paying off with the success of the seniors and the rest of the team here tonight on senior night.
Yeah, when Coach Casolari became involved in the field hockey program, she was our JV coach for 4 years, and so she never hesitated to ask questions, figure out how to learn the game, looking at YouTube videos. There wasn't a question she didn't ask me as she was preparing to learn how to not only coach the JV squad, but we knew at some point I was going to walk away from coaching to spend more time with my family, and she was ready and willing when that time came.
And I will say that Coach Casolari's coaching experience doesn't stay on the field. Oh, another goal from Amanda Stevenson. That is her second of the evening.
And that was great positioning from Amanda right there, too. That's what we love to see in field hockey, right there on that post to get those rebounds or the pass, and she did exactly that with that rebound.
Yeah.
No, not till second half. Really? Yep. Good to know. Yep, you're good. Thanks.
So Coach Casolari's coaching experience does not hesitate to stray from the field hockey field, as she does also help with JV baseball. I know she was working with Coach Burke last year, her first season in the program with that. And obviously, Ms. Foley, you have a pretty huge connection to baseball.
Yep, for many, many years. We don't have to say how many. But my husband, Coach Foley, is the varsity coach, and also here this evening, Coach Nelson, not only as the co-advisor for the South Hadley Sports Network, but she was an assistant varsity baseball coach last year. I had the pleasure of going up to the Hall of Fame with her and you, Brady.
That trip to the Baseball Hall of Fame was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. Just walking into that hall with all the plaques is breathtaking. It truly, that must be an incredible experience for those who get to see their names there.
Not to get too focused on baseball, but there is a woman in the Hall of Fame, Judy Waldron. She was the president of the Cape Cod Baseball League for, I think, almost 20 years. Really wonderful woman, very strong and an intelligent leader. And I always make a point to go see the display that they have at the Hall of Fame on her. And this year I was especially proud of the fact that our South Hadley baseball team had 2 female coaches as well.
Couldn't have planned that any better. And just one final connection to baseball. The former commissioner of Major League Baseball for one season, Bart Giamatti, is a graduate of South Hadley High School. He unfortunately passed away during his only season back in the 1980s, and he was succeeded by, I want to say, Bud Selig, but I'm honestly not sure.
You know, interestingly enough, Bart Giamatti's father, I believe, was a professor at Mount Holyoke College for a number of years, and my mother, who was a student at Mount Holyoke back in the 60s, had him as a professor.
Noise warning, air horn. There it is. And so feel free to finish what you were saying as well.
So my mother had Bart Giamatti's father, I believe, as a professor at Mount Holyoke College, and she spent some time with him, and I believe also met Bart Giamatti as well.
That's incredible, the connections. So thank you again to Ms. Cole for joining us on the broadcast. And as we cut to halftime, South Hadley leads Southwick at a score of 8-0. We'll have the rest of it here for you in just a little bit here on South Hadley Sports Network, your home for Tigers Athletics. Third quarter action here on the field hockey field. Southwick trailing South Hadley. It's 8-0 Tigers. Now, Miss Foley, we had talked about possibly doing a little joke segment.
Oh, my goodness. I was joking when I said that.
Boo.
But that's the first joke of the night, Brady.
Okay. I was not prepared to make jokes.
Me neither. I do have a knock-knock joke for you, though. It's probably one you've heard before.
All right. Hit
Ready?
me.
Knock, knock.
Come in.
Oh, you're so funny!
I forgot how knock-knock jokes worked, I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Do you remember now?
Vaguely.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo-hoo.
Why are you crying, Brady? Was that your version of a laugh?
No, it was a dad joke. Sigh/groan.
Well,
I have a bunch of jokes I probably can't say on the air, but we won't go into that.
yeah, we want to keep it G. We're a family show here, Brady.
We're a family show.
So it sounds like there have been some subs here, or some switches in the game. Amaya Dunn now is out playing on the field, I believe, up on as a forward. And then Dee Haber is now back in goal.
You know, I did realize that. I didn't think to say anything because, quite frankly,
You were in awe of my great joke?
yes,
That's what it was.
that's a great excuse. But, this game is just so interesting on so many levels that, you know, it's hard to get it's easy to get distracted. And I think that, again, this is our dry run.
That's right. We're working our way through this.
And
We can see a little bit more than we could the first half.
we certainly can.
We're not as blind anymore.
And I owe a great sum of money to my good friend Colin Zaronic.
You know, here at the South Hadley High School community, we all pick each other up here. Coach Cole went directly from the microphone over to a camera to help us out running a camera so that our cameraman could have a break and get a little snack.
The concession stand is doing wonderful things.
I hear they have these pickles on a stick these days. I think that's amazing.
I think that a pickle on a stick is such a cool thing. I know at the Big E they have the giant pickles, but I never thought to put one on a stick.
I thought it was some like moldy corn dog when I first saw it, and then realized it was actually a pickle that was on the stick.
Oh, I knew it was a pickle. I was just confused as to why they put a pickle on a stick. I'm only human. I ask questions.
Yeah, that's the way we learn, Brady.
It's great
That's
to
the
be
way we
inquisitive.
learn.
I feel like this is a great time in the broadcast for no apparent reason to mention that the South Hadley High School carpentry program is actually selling some of their projects that they've done. They're selling charcuterie boards. They are selling for $15, and you can purchase them. I believe you just I'm honestly not sure the way Mr. Humiston explained it to me, but I think you just come to the school and ask for one. I'm honestly not sure.
They were on display at an open house last week, and the craftsmanship, they're just beautiful. I'm sure you could email Mr. Humiston at jhumiston@shschools.com.
Or Mr. Bruisaber at dbruisaber at South Hadley School or shschools.com. And please correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but
I think you did a fantastic job pronouncing it.
I appreciate it. Another thing I'm sure you could do, if you want to purchase one and you have a student that goes to South Hadley High School, I'm sure that they could talk to one of the carpentry teachers.
You know, I'm going to put it out there that if people wanted to email me, I would get them in touch with one of the carpentry teachers. My email is afoley@shschools.com.
That's a lot easier to remember. That's
Yes.
a 3-syllable email.
I noticed neither of us was willing to spell the two carpentry teachers' last names, so Foley is Foley.
I won't be disclosing my email, but I do appreciate the fact that Miss Foley would express hers.
You know, email reminds me, Brady, of social media in a way, you know, those digital platforms. I think this might be a good time for you to share our social media accounts.
We have a wonderful Instagram account run by our producer, Colin Zaranig, who's on camera tonight. At SH Sports Network, we post game days. We're eventually going to start posting highlight reels, I believe, as well as eventually we're going to do a sports recap show known as Tigers Rewind, which we are supposed to be recording next Wednesday. So as soon as that's all edited, I'm sure we can get it on there as a IGTV video. And,
I do have to say I have been so impressed with the enthusiasm, dedication, and hard work of the students that are part of the SH Sports Network. And I know we've been talking about a lot of different possibilities for this year. You know, one of the things I think we're looking to do is some fundraising. And we have thrown around the idea of maybe an award ceremony at the end of the year for our student athletes, similar to the ESPYs.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
And now I'm excited.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound amazing? I was thinking, Brady, we could have the culinary program cater it, and we could charge a fee. The students that were being honored obviously would not have to pay, but, you know, maybe families and friends who wanted to come witness the award show, coaches could maybe hand out MVPs. Also, give out some academic awards, because we know our athletes, they're students first. That's why we call them student athletes.
I would be more than happy to MC that if the cards are played right. But thank you for letting me know about that. I honestly had no idea that was something we were going to do.
Well, I think it's going to be quite the endeavor to take on, so it's going to take some planning, some time, maybe even some sponsors.
100%. The other thing we were thinking about doing was some group outings. I know we have our in-school field trip on Wednesday that you helped coordinate, which thank you so much for helping coordinate that.
Oh, my pleasure, Brady. As I said, the enthusiasm, dedication, and the hard work of the students involved in the South Hadley Sports Network gives me the motivation to help them get better at what they're doing. So we're looking forward to getting students trained with the equipment that they have been using, not just using it, but setting it up and taking it down.
Yeah, we're going to come out here to the turf and we're going to run some mock setups showing how you can use different materials and how you can take them down, set them up. We essentially want everybody to know as much as they can about the equipment that they're using.
Getting back to the field hockey game here, it looks like South Hadley's going to have a corner down in the Southwick end.
Feels like we've been doing more of an ad read than a field hockey broadcast, but again, when it's a sport that we're going in blind to, it's a little tougher to give a proper play-by-play broadcast.
Oh, we have a good strike into the center there, and that shot just goes wide into the side of the net.
Unfortunate. Now, we did have some representation from the other sports down as spectators. Obviously, Coach Eric Castanaway, the athletic director, and the former boys soccer head coach is down there. But we also saw the football head coach, Brian Kuchar, which reminds me that we are doing a football broadcast this Friday for senior night when the Tigers take on Putnam Tech. I will be on the call for that, and I believe so will Justin Moskal.
We have a beautiful night here at the turf. It's a little chilly, but it's clear and we can see the moon. You don't happen to know, Brady, what the forecast is for Friday? Oh, I think he's otherwise occupied at the moment. Oh my goodness, we're going to have a beautiful evening, but before we get to that, South Hadley scores again.
Incredible. Just all South Hadley through and through this game. So I did find out from an inside source that South Hadley's girls soccer team will be playing in some Western Mass tournament games this upcoming week. I don't want to disclose too much about that, as I was told by an inside source, and I'm not sure if it's common knowledge yet, but do expect to see some impromptu streams coming your way. And again, we'll have updates at SH Sports Network on Instagram.
Yeah, that as we get better at what we're doing, we want to broaden what we broadcast, and so we're looking into going to some of the away venues to broadcast live for our South Hadley community.
I know we have intentions of going to Holyoke High School for the Battle of the Bridges football game on Thanksgiving Day. It's been thrown around the Pioneer Valley tip-off, whether the Tigers will return this year. That happens at the Mullen Center at UMass, and we got a stream of that last year for just the TV station, but we're looking to bring that back this year if South Hadley returns to that.
This week, I think our events should experience some really nice weather for this time of the year. I think the temperatures are going to get into the 70s towards the end of the week.
I heard we were hitting 70 Friday. Obviously, the football game happens at 7, so it will likely have cooled down by then. It's still seasonably warm, or unseasonably warm.
South Hadley had just put some pressure on there, and now Southwick's going to try to clear it out of their defensive end. Sam Harrison made the stop there, but Southwick is persistent.
I do appreciate your commitment to keeping us locked into field hockey here, as I do tend to go off topic when it's something I don't really understand as well.
You know, I find my students in my classroom like to get me off topic at times, Brady, so I have a little experience in this.
Ms. Foley, I've never had you as a teacher, and I will just come out and say it. It's all planned.
I know.
It's all planned. A few years ago, when we were in 8th grade, I'm not sure if you know Miss Napoli. She's one of the
love her.
English teachers at Michael E. Smith Middle School. One of the greatest teachers that I've ever had.
Really fantastic.
She loved to get off topic in class and talk about our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just mention her kids, just to act as a catalyst to get off topic. And we would spend like 20 minutes just devoted to talking about Bubby and Harpy. So if Miss Napoli somehow stumbles upon this broadcast, we have all the respect for you and your wonderful, I'm sure, family.
Well, I always suspected these sneaky strategies of the students. Last year, my classes used to always ask me about traveling and where I wanted to travel next because, as you know, Brady, I run the travel club at school.
Incredible segue, Miss Foley. Would you like to tell the viewers at home a little bit about this travel
I
club?
would love to. Travel for students is such a great opportunity for them to see the world, learn about new cultures. But the model that we use to travel with, we travel on a national delegation with the Global Citizen Program. So students get to meet other high school students from around the country. So not only are we visiting these new great places and learning about their culture, we're learning about our own country at the same time.
I do the morning announcements. And I do distinctly remember at the beginning of the year asking the students if they'd like to travel to Rome, Athens, and the Greek islands over the summer of 2024.
Yes.
So if you're interested, once again, afoley@shschools.com. If you're not a student at Southwick High School, I don't know what to tell you. But if you are...
Actually, if you're not a student at South Hadley High School, you're more than welcome to join us because, as I said, it's a national delegation. So anyone from the area or around the country, for that matter, could travel with us if they'd like.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's really amazing, an amazing opportunity.
If I had the time, the effort to travel as much as this Global Citizen Program entails, I would do it in a hot second. But I spend my summer here.
Well, we'll work on that, Brady. We just started talking about our fundraising for this year's trip. And by the way, it's not too late for students to sign up if they're interested in traveling from the end of June to early July, 13 days. I will say, though, that, you know, the timer is counting down here. We have about 25 seconds left. So the horn up here is going to go off in that matter of time.
Thank you so much for warning us as the Tigers lead 9-0. We are still in running time, and I'm coming to think we'll maintain that for the remainder of the game. But again, I wouldn't rule anything out. Sports are interesting, and anything can happen. So, and the horn is a little faulty on that boy.
A little misfire on that horn. Maybe it was towards the end of the can there.
So we will step aside. Tigers lead 9-0 after 3. Ms. Foley, we've gotten way off topic here, but I think it's great that we're giving a little preview into what's to come for South Hadley Sports Network.
It's really been an exciting time. You know, the idea first came to me from Colin Zranig when he was in my freshman seminar last year, and he was talking about how we could start a group like this. And so I was telling him how it would, the process and all the hoops you had to jump through to start a group. And I said, well, then, of course, you're going to need an advisor. And he kind of looked at me with these sad eyes of his, and I was like, fine, I can do it. And
How
boy,
can you
I'm
say
so
no,
glad.
Colin?
I know.
Well, I will say, toward the end of last year, he brought it up, and my mind was racing for the whole summer. And I think when it became real for me was when I saw that first mock-up of the logo that our wonderful producer Nick made. That was when it was real. And then so many meetings with Coach C and Ms. Wood and members of the school board, I believe, or some type of higher level administrator. There was so much planning.
Yes.
And I was on the edge of my seat just trying to think, like, is this going to happen? What's going to happen? And I remember it was a day in September. I want to say it was like the 11th. And Colin had the meeting, and I want to say I just got a text, and it was like, we're good. And there was there was much more to do, but that was just so outrageously calming for me, knowing that this was going to come to fruition.
Yeah, and it was great.
Another South Hadley goal.
Scores again.
Nora Vaughn was on that goal. I'm pretty sure.
You know, we've had a lot of support and enthusiasm for the Sports Network. The upper-level administration that was with us in that meeting, I believe, was Assistant Superintendent Jen Voyek, who was extremely supportive. But I think it's like super important that we acknowledge Dan Peace, who runs the South Hadley Community TV. He has just been, we could not do this without him. Talk about energy and enthusiasm. He kind of has led the way for us this year.
Not only is Dan an incredibly nice human being, he is extremely kind and generous to us to use the equipment. He's also extremely knowledgeable in his field. And the way that he's been invested in this South Hadley Sports Network, not only through finances, but also his time. He spent almost the entire summer working on, obviously you can't see it, but this mixer that we have sitting up in the booth. Incredible work that he's done. A lot of time, a lot of money invested by Dan, and we have nothing but the utmost respect for him.
I have to say, I really appreciate his level of patience, because coming into this, I really did not have any knowledge or experience with any of this type of equipment or what it takes to put on a broadcast. And I know I've learned so much already for him, and look forward to learning even more from him on Wednesday, the second half of the day, for our in-school field trip, which he'll be leading the way on.
I was lucky enough to meet Dan when I was in 8th grade. We did a couple broadcasts of girls basketball when they made their run to the state tournament through the Final Four. And it was my first time doing a live play-by-play broadcast, and believe me, I was rusty. But Dan was extremely good about like coaching me through it and helping me with the technology element just as much as the talking in front of a microphone element.
Just in talking about that run the girls basketball team made in the state tournament, we mentioned that Coach Nelson, Jess Nelson, was the assistant baseball coach this past spring, but she's been the longtime JV girls basketball coach.
Is that another goal?
That's another goal for South Hadley there. Senior Rose Lewinsky just scored the goal.
11 goals for South Hadley. I think. Was that?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
I think we need to give huge kudos to the South Hadley offense here. Putting in just incredible work through and through this match.
As the ball will be heading down the other end right now. I don't know, Brady, if you were able to come up with any jokes in between the quarters.
The only joke I can think of is just the most corny joke possible.
Oh, I got one for you.
Okay.
Why did the cookie go to the doctor?
Why?
It was feeling crummy.
And another South Hadley goal.
Trying to steal my thunder of my joke.
I'm so sorry.
The cookie was feeling crummy. Did you get that? Did you get that one?
Incredible. I'm impressed.
Yeah, thanks. I have to actually thank Miss Cole for that. Looks like we have a sub going in here, Brady.
Looks to be, yes, a new goalkeeper for the Rams. Foley, what do you call cheese that isn't yours?
Nacho cheese!
Boo. That was ear-piercing on my headset.
That's one of my favorite jokes, as you can tell.
I figured. And I can't come up with another one. I heard a joke.
You did?
I heard a little chatter amongst some of the teacher advisors up here. What's a pirate's favorite letter? Come on, you can't keep stealing my punchlines.
These are some of
Let
my
me
best.
do one.
Okay, fine. The next one I won't ruin, I promise.
I don't have any more.
Oh, gosh.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you're glad I didn't say it. Banana. I hate this so much. These jokes are horrible.
Oh, you know. We have about 7 minutes left here to the fourth quarter.
And, likely no more corny jokes.
Yeah, that might be it for the night.
Okay, one more. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Oh. So this is definitely an interesting broadcast. We will, we're going to take this one into consideration as a, an example of what not to do on a broadcast. I think this is almost as bad as he is a high school football player.
Oh, that was a good one that night.
That was a horrible tangent between Noah and I.
About, South Hadley scores
Another one.
again.
What?
That's another one for
They
Rose
put up-
Lewinsky. It's now 13-0,
Our scoreboard.
and there's 6 minutes left.
Our scoreboard is a little.
I think there's a little sportsmanship maybe going on here. Because
That's
if you're the team on the other end, it's not always great to look up at a double digit
That's.
loss.
I entirely agree. As we wind down, and we do appreciate your cooperation with us as we find our way through our first field hockey game.
It might be our first, but it definitely won't be our last, Brady.
Well, this is one thing that I want to ask. Is there some sort of playoff for this team? Because okay, I'm getting not.
No,
ahead.
I don't believe so. There's typically there isn't any playoffs for any JV program of any sport.
Yeah, I just wondered because field hockey is not as popular of a sport, and if there's more JV clubs, maybe they have some sort of like tournament. But
You know, one thing that is field hockey related for South Hadley is the summer field hockey league that they have here in the summer. This is something Coach Cole started, oh goodness, I can't remember when, 5 years ago. So maybe it was my daughter's junior year, right before her junior year. And the way that program has grown in the summer is pretty amazing to see all of the field hockey players coming from all around Western Mass to play.
there's definitely a camaraderie around such a smaller sport like field hockey. Obviously, it's played on a much bigger level, but we don't see as much of it in our town as it's not. It's growing to be more popular. I'm trying to speak with the most optimism here because I worry that some other circumstance comes up, but
I'll tell you, Brady, that my daughter played soccer when she was younger, up through 3rd grade. And I'd have to say she didn't have the best experience. She played some spring soccer one year that she didn't have as much fun doing. And so the following fall, she said, well, I don't want to play soccer. So we said, well, exercise is important, staying active is important. Why don't you try field hockey? And I went to my first youth field hockey game, and I couldn't believe how quiet the sidelines were compared to the sidelines of youth soccer.
A lot of youth sports, the parents like to amp it up for their kids, but, I mean, field hockey, it can't be that hard to cheer for.
Well,
And I mean that in the most endearing way possible.
and as we cheer,
Amaya Dunn.
another senior scoring on this senior night.
That's at least one tally from every senior. I believe that Maddie has 2, and I want to say Rose has 3.
Yeah, she has the hat trick.
I want to say, yeah. And the seniors will come out.
And here come the seniors. In what is probably the last time they'll walk off the field hockey field.
Just unfortunate that there's no playoff run for this to culminate in. So we express all of our gratitude to the seniors for what they contributed to the program here. This game certainly wouldn't have been as entertaining without them, and we owe them a lot for what's happening in our program now. Their leadership was tremendous, and we can only hope that that's reflected in the upcoming senior class, which I'm not sure is as big. Let me see who I have for seniors on for next year's seniors.
I know Joanna Diaz is a junior this year, so she'll be a rising senior.
As well as Molly O'Donnell, and I believe they're the only 2.
Elise Gingras is also a junior, so she'll be a senior.
Nope, Elise is a sophomore.
Oh, she's a sophomore. Really?
We have a couple classes together, I'm pretty sure.
That's right. You mentioned that earlier in the broadcast.
She is also the class president for the class of 26.
We have just under a minute now left to the game. Will South Hadley get one more in the back of the goal?
Or will Southwick miraculously begin
There'll be a corner.
13-goal comeback.
So what's interesting about this corner, I know, is you can't really end a game on a corner. So if time runs out here, they'll continue to play. No? Not at the JV.
Not at the end of the fourth quarter when it doesn't make a difference.
Oh, not at the end of the fourth quarter where it doesn't make a difference in the score. And so the one thing I knew, Brady, shot out the window.
We're putting it together. Miss Nelson, you're going to want to get ready on that horn.
We're learning.
And we will wind down. That's the game. The horn functioned. Your South Hadley Tigers wipe the Southwick Rams. It's a 13-0 final. So from all of us here at South Hadley Sports Network, thank you for joining us and cooperating with our, honestly, not so great knowledge of this sport. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll toss it back over to any other programming that's currently blessing the airwaves of South Hadley Community TV. I'm Brady Duniston signing off.